in a suit and everything. Fucking hell. I bet he is as well, you know, just to make me look like a cunt. Sat here in a t-shirt and a hoodie. Right, ladies and gentlemen, how about we get this road on the show? Doesn't take a lot. There we go. There we go. There's the Longthorn we all know. Be careful, LT is topless. Don't threaten me with a good time. If he's not now, Ange, I'm going to be really, really disappointed. Let's see.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you, big dude?
I'm alright, how are you?
Oh, mate, I'm not going to lie. I am shagged. You don't want him topless, I promise you. Don't you tell me what I do and don't want.
I've been going to the gym, mate. I'm ready.
I'm just waiting for your camera to load in, because it doesn't appear to be.
Should be, hopefully.
Oh, there we go. There he is.
You see me? Am I there? Hey, I'm here. Whoa.
Whoa, where's this suit?
I changed my mind.
Oh, I mean, you could have at least birthday suited it. What's going on?
Well, thinking that, but you know, PG stream, innit?
PG, mate, have you been here before?
I have. I keep it clean, man. Keep it clean.
Yeah, I think I'm probably one of the furthest people away from PG that you come. You've heard some of the shit that I've come out with.
Oh, I have. It's disgusting.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. So, first and foremost, Mr. Longthorn, welcome on in, my dude.
Thank you.
So,
thank you very much.
How about, to kick things off, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Well, my name is Longthorne90, as you all know. Twitch streamer and content creator. Don't really have a fixed genre anymore. Used to be indie horrors, but just pretty much play whatever you like now, you know. Final Fantasies, Resident Evil, still kick some indies in there, you know. As and when at the minute. Haven't streamed in a while, but I do plan to get back to it. I started a Resident Evil marathon not long back, and that's that needs to be finished. It needs to be started, really. I've only got about half an hour into it, so I've got to kick on with that.
I love the way you've just phrased that. Yeah, I've got a marathon that needs finishing. Well, actually, I need to start it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I saw you posting on Twitter about that. Am I right in saying that you're doing like a sort of canon story playthrough?
Yes. Well, that is, yeah, I am. Starting with 0, which obviously I think I started about, like I said, about half an hour in. And then I'm going to try and work my way through all the remake ones. And obviously now 4's out as well. I can crack on with that. But I want to try and get Revelations 2, Code Veronica, all the Survivor as well. Get all those in, but in the right timeline.
And
hopefully, that's the plan.
Well, where did the idea for that come about?
I've been wanting to do it for ages. I usually just play them casually, you know, just in any random order. But I just thought, no, why not do something a bit bigger on a larger scale? I thought I'm going to go and try and test myself and try and just go through as many as I can, all in order and proper full playthroughs and reading all files, trying to get as much out of it as possible.
So, like, proper 100% playthroughs then?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, as near as I can get them, anyway. But I always end up missing something. Missing an item or a bloody weapon or something like that.
Do you know what, though? It's always the case when you plan out something like that, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You never tend to do it all. I mean, you see some streamers and they go do 100% runs all in one go. I'm like, I can't do that. One, I haven't got the time, and two, I'd just miss something. I'd miss something right at the beginning. I won't pick up a bloody item or a file or something. That game would be screwed.
That's going to that must have to take you quite a while then. If you're going to do all of them and try and do them 100%, that's surely you're talking like 24 to 48 hours total.
Probably longer, mate, knowing me. Probably longer. Like I said, forgetful. I'd have to go back and find something. But yeah, it's... I mean, I said I haven't streamed in a while, but when I do, it's usually 2 to 2.5 hours with the time I've got.
Yeah.
So going by that, it'd be a fair few streams. Something like Resident Evil 2 remake, I could probably do that in maybe an hour and a half properly, having speed run it, and I've got that down to about 53 minutes. So I'll be able to doing a full playthrough, probably get an hour and a half, 2 hours through on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my plan is I think after Zero it'll obviously be Resident Evil, and then I'm trying to think. I think it's then Resident Evil 3. Because you got the first part, you go to where Jill gets infected, and that's when Resident Evil 2 starts, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to research it again. But I know you do that, then you do 2. I can't remember if it's Leon A. Claire B or all the way around, and then finish off with second half of 3.
Yeah.
But I would have to research that one.
Yeah, because I think in terms of the timeline, 2 and 3, they sort of overlap each other, don't they?
Yeah. That's why they have that little, in the remake of 3, they have that bit where she gets infected and it says something like half a day later. I think in that time frame, I think that's when 2's happening or happened. And that's when you then kick on with second part of 3 and finish it, and it all blows up and goes tits up and whatever. So, well, yeah. And then I think there's Code Veronica. Code Veronica, I think, then takes place just after that. That's just before. Is that just before 4? It's in between 2 and 4, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
So much to take on.
I'm pretty sure it is set after 2 and 3 was set. Do you know? And do you know what? With the amount that I've played Code Veronica, you'd probably expect me to know that one.
I was going to say, you do a fair bit of speedrun of it. I thought you'd have been the master on that. I thought you'd have been able to tell me straight away.
Yeah. Well, today was actually the first time in don't know how long since I've picked that game up. I feel like I've not played it in forever. Whereas, like you've seen, I used to play it fucking day in, day out.
Yeah, I know. So, no, but to be fair, it's my favourite. It's my favourite Resident Evil game. I love it. It's brilliant.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel it just doesn't get the love that it deserves.
No, it don't. I think initially, though, it was released on GameCube, wasn't it? Yeah. So I think a lot of people didn't get to experience it. And that's why sales were low. I think a lot of people don't rate it because of that, because it never had initially a PlayStation release. It was just GameCube. But I loved it. Just the atmosphere, the music, the setting. I think it were all brilliant. Well, apart from Steve.
I don't think anybody... Well, I say I don't think anybody likes Steve. Women seem to love him, and it's like, he's a creep. Like, he's a legitimate creep. Like, Claire's asleep, and he tries to make a move on her. Like,
I know, yeah.
You get put in a prison cell for that kind of shit where I'm from.
You certainly would, and rightly so. But yeah, he's, I don't know. It's the voice. It's just, I think it's the voice for me. It just goes through me. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Honestly, that's just my titsy, man. It's horrible.
Yeah, I really get where you're coming from. Like, even though I love the game, the Steve character, I don't like him.
No.
Which is a bit strange, actually, because normally, even if it is just to be awkward, like, the characters that people don't like in the Resident Evil games, I say that I like just to be that guy.
Yeah, just to piss people off.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, everybody says that they don't like Billy in Zero. I actually really liked him.
Yeah, I liked Billy. I thought he was good. With his little tribal tattoo, I thought he were pretty cool.
Right. I think what I liked about him was his character story. Obviously, you have that cutscene and he starts talking about what happened.
In the military time when he were in army. Yeah.
Yeah, and that it turns out that he's been basically ordered to wipe out an entire village. And if memory serves, I don't think he ever actually answers the question as to whether he followed through with it or not, did he?
I can't remember. I don't think he did, though. I think, was it not someone else that did it? And he was kind of blamed for it?
Yeah.
Something along them lines, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that he would have done. But I know when he's speaking to Rebecca about it, he gets really reserved. Doesn't really want to talk, but which, you can fucking understand. I mean, why would you want to talk about something like that?
No, exactly, yeah.
Right. One question that I do want to ask you, which I ask to everyone that comes on here.
Oh, God.
I mean, how big So obviously, I've known you for. I mean, I've known you quite a while now. What? It's got to be two
Yeah,
years, 3 years, something like
yeah,
that.
it has. Yeah. Whoa, what's case
No.
out there? Whoa, calm down. Secrets are out.
Oh, someone's getting grassed on. Um,
Uh,
so, well, it's sort of like a two-part question, I suppose. So, number one, how long have you actually been on Twitch for? And number
mhm.
two, what actually brought you to Twitch in the first place?
I've probably been on, probably going on about 3 years now. I think it was around about April, May 2020 time. I think it was that lockdown
Hmm.
era. You know, it was something I've always been interested in, and I'd been watching it for a while before that. Seen people streaming like old games like Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, things like that, and I thought, you know what, it looks really good, that really interesting. But I never had the means to do it, and then clearly the wife, yeah, the lovely wife, she bought me a PC, gaming PC for me for my birthday,
Very
and got
nice.
all set up. I know. I got set up, and I thought, you know, I'm going to give it a go now. And then got on. I think the first game I streamed was the original Final Fantasy VII, but I was just literally sat there, just staring at camera, not knowing what to do as a novice, not talking, and that were about it. I think it were me and Case for the first 2 months, and she was sat next to me most of the time.
She's actually just put in the chat, it's the cringiest video.
Yeah, it is. I actually watched it not long back. I think it's still somewhere in the clips or something. I'm sat there with a little beanie hat on, it's like that. Not saying anything, just I look awkward. It's awful.
Yeah, I
But
think
that
that's
was it. Yeah,
basically.
probably that time.
I think that's
Yeah.
basically how we all kind of started, though, wasn't it? Like,
Mm.
you. I mean, I remember when I first started, and it was my sister that told me about it. So I thought, yeah, go on, I'll give it a go. And then I hit go live, and I kind of froze. I'm like, well, what do I do now? Like, do I speak to nobody? Do I sort of talk about what I'm doing or why I'm doing it? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And then I just
I,
decided to start talking about my penis.
well, that's always a fallback, in it. You know, that's always something you can. That's the best thing to do in those situations, I think.
No, but
But
like,
yeah, I started around about then, and I've been on and off. I went through a good stint where I think I was streaming like 4 or 5 times a week for a good 6 or 7 months. But again, that was when no one had anything else to do.
yeah,
And then everything got eased and got back to some normality. And like life just continues, doesn't it? You know, you've got your job, you got family, you've got stuff you need to do, and then it just kind of takes a bit of a back seat, unfortunately, sometimes.
no, exactly that. You've hit the nail on the head there. Back in the days of lockdown, a good couple of years ago,
Mm.
basically everybody that I now know on the platform was streaming a hell of a lot more than what they're able to now. But like you say, unfortunately, life gets in the way.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'd all love to be to have the availability to just sit there and play games all day, but unfortunately,
yeah,
that adulting life kind of gets in the way of that.
yeah. It certainly does, mate. It certainly does. Like, I'm thinking of a day, like we were talking about the Resident Evil marathon. That must have been a month ago now, maybe. And I've been saying for months, I've been like, I'm going to get my schedule back together. I'm going to be on consistently doing this and that, and it still hasn't happened because you don't get time when you go to work. Say you work till 5 o'clock, come home, you sort kids' teas out. You know, we tidy up, we sort around the house, and then you're looking at 7, 8 o'clock, and it's like, can I really be bothered
Yeah.
going on for 2.5 hours, and then straight to bed and doing it all again? So you just kind of chill out after. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
just trying to find that time. Which hopefully I'll find that time. I'll be back at some point. Which I've said multiple times. But I do plan on doing it. I've got all the ideas and the plans there for what I want to stream, what I want to do with the channel. But it is just like I said, just not finding the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Again, exactly the same thing happened to me.
Mm.
In my old job, it wasn't too bad because I wasn't really working many hours. I was basically working part-time hours. So it was great, I mean, at one point I'm sure I was streaming 7 days a week, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, you were on a lot. I did notice that actually.
Yeah, and then it was January of last year, so January 2022, I took on a new job, which it's probably one of the fucking best things I've done because I'm now. Not only is it looking like there's a lot more prospects, it could turn into quite a fruitful career, but it's a hell of a lot more money than what I was on. A hell of a lot.
That's good though, isn't it?
But the
That's what you
hours,
want.
exactly, yeah. But the hours are a lot more. So like during the week, I work until 8 in the evening. I'd probably say 2, maybe 3 times during the week. I go to the gym after work, so I'm getting in at like 10:30, and then like you say, by that time you're fit for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say just burn yourself out if you start taking on too much.
Yeah.
But then if you did go on after, like I said, you were well late, you go to the gym. If you did go on after, I know me personally, I wouldn't be. Oh, I don't think I'm entertaining anyway, but I won't be entertaining. You know what I mean? You don't want to talk. You just want to sit there and stare at screen and do something offline, like play a game offline and chill out. You don't feel like you'll be able to talk to people all the time or keep people interested. That's me anyway. I don't think I'd be able to do that. I'd burn myself out.
No, 100%. I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. 9 times out of 10, especially if I've gone to the gym after work, I'll come home, I eat something, and I just get in bed because. I mean, we've got to be honest with ourselves. We're not exactly we're not teenagers no more, are we?
No.
God, takes its toll on you.
Just been called a grumpy twat. Bloody hell.
She's right. She's right getting on you.
Hello. It's a view into my life, that Liam. It's a view into my life. Are you entertaining on a good day, though? You know what? Right. No, I'm not.
Yeah, that's not where I thought you were going with that one, then.
I bit my tongue.
I thought we were going to hear at least a swear word or two.
No. Fuck that. There you go.
Right. One thing that I did want to bring up with yourself, and I'm going to come back to obviously Twitch and stuff like that in a moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know you're a really big football fan.
I am.
What is going on this season?
Arsenal
are 8 points clear. Chelsea are 10th? They're in the top half of the table on goal difference.
I think they dropped into 11th today. They lost to Villa.
Wow. Yeah, that would put them in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
You've got Newcastle in the top 4. Like, what's going on? It's like football's gone back 20 years or something.
I know. If I want a Leeds fan, I'd say it's great, but we're doing a bit shit at the minute, so I'm not right happy. But yeah, it's a weird season. I mean, if you look at the bottom, from the 20th place up to 12th, I think there's 4 points or 7 points in it. Yeah, so two or three games, 12 teams can just change all around. I think it's one of the closest leagues. Okay, sure, Leeds is never a happy chappy. I'm not. If you look at Leeds, I think we were 13th beginning of yesterday. Now we're 17th or 8th or 16th. It's just that close at bottom. It's mad. But as we're at top as well, I mean, Newcastle as well, everyone goes on about them being bought out, but they've not spent a lot of money.
Well, no.
They've just got a good manager, I think. Oh, my camera. Eddie Howe's a good manager. I've gone.
We see. Oh,
I'm back.
No, there we go. We're back. Newcastle beat Man United today. I lost 20 quid. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2-0 that.
I can only assume by that then that you backed Man United to win, which tells me that you don't know anything about football. So I just, keep away from football betting. I'm allowed to say that. I'm from Manchester.
It supports Liverpool, does Goon. It supports Liverpool, so they're not having the best season either.
Yeah, and that's another one. What's going on with them? Because like it seemed to be all set up for City and Liverpool to just dominate the league for years.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I don't know what's going on.
To be fair, I didn't think Arsenal would do as well as they've done this season. I thought they'd be top 4, but I didn't think they'd be 8 points clear at this stage.
No, I don't think anybody did.
But no.
I mean, to be fair to them though, they've bought well. Like I remember when I heard that they signed Zinchenko, and I was really surprised that City let him go. Actually. Yeah.
I were as well, to be fair. He's always good, even if you don't get, regular games at City, he's always a great option off bench, isn't he? He's someone you can rely on. Yeah. I mean, yesterday, when we played him, he would just take it Mick down that right side. He would just we couldn't get near him half the time. But
Shit
I
show
don't know.
season.
A weird season. Weird season.
Well, I think Idiot Goose just hit the nail on the head there. 1 week Liverpool are snotting Man United 7-0.
Yeah.
But then they come up against a decent side and get beat. Like
Exactly.
Brighton.
Yeah. It's just crazy. I don't know. It's interesting to see. I mean, I think Arsenal will win it now, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think they'll win it. But I'm just more interested to see what's going on at bottom. Obviously, we're nowhere near safe, but it could be one of 10 teams that goes down. I think it'll go down to the last day as well, to be fair.
But you know what? You sort of want that.
Yeah, I don't. I want us to know we're all right now.
Well, I was just going to say, obviously, if it's a team that you support, then naturally, you're not wanting to go into the last day of the season like, shit, there's still a possibility that we can go down here. And believe me, I know how that feels. I've now had to suffer 2 relegations.
Yeah, is it Oldham? Oldham you spotted it?
Is it Oldham Athletic?
Yeah.
I've witnessed 2 relegations, no promotions. I think in the time that I've been following them, which is coming close for 20 years now, we finished in the playoffs once, and then every other season it's been, fighting at the wrong end of the table. But one of the issues down there is simply money. Nobody's got any money apart from Wrexham.
Well, yeah.
I'm not even going there because they absolutely snotted us yesterday. I think it finished 5-1 in the end. But obviously they had their take over with Ryan Reynolds and one of the other guys. I'm not saying that they've got a lot of money, but they've got Ben Foster in net for them. Non-league side.
That was weird. I think that's partially they're paying him a lot of money and he just wanted to meet Ryan Reynolds, I think that's about it, because that's a strange one. He's been retired about 2 years, and he's been doing podcasts and shows and what have you, and then just suddenly come out of retirement and go, yeah, I'll start playing again. What is he? He's 38, 39 now, is he?
Yeah, he's got to be getting close to 40. I mean, he's been around forever.
Yeah, it was just a strange one. A good buy for him, I guess, but a strange one.
Well, I mean, they're going to be playing league football next season.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't remember how many points clear they are, but I'm pretty sure there's a bit of a gap between Wrexham and then I want to say Notts County in second, but I'd have to double check that. I'd run around the football pitch for 90 minutes too if it meant I got to meet Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. I love just short little direct comebacks like that. It's like, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Stop lying. Well, no, I wouldn't.
Put it on for 9 minutes. Yeah.
But hey, here's something that I only found out recently. Did you know that since retirement, Sergio Aguero has been on Twitch?
Was he?
Yeah, because he was
streaming Resident Evil.
Well, I did hear a rumour that he was going to start speedrunning Code Veronica, but then he got told about Liam McKnight and he absolutely shit himself. And
I'm not surprised. You don't want to be in the same category as that knobhead, do you?
You got
Hey, got it in. Only took 10 minutes or so. All right.
Well, yeah, I read something the other day. He streams with some other bloke, and I think it's mainly esports games that he plays. And thankfully, he's now all right. But he had some sort of what was it? He had some sort of heart arrhythmia on stream a couple of days ago, which is how I found out that he'd moved over to Twitch in the first place.
Yeah, well, didn't he retire? I know he left City, didn't he? Did he go to Barcelona after that?
Yeah.
Or did he retire from City? He went to Barca. But he had an issue there, didn't he? And then that's what made him retire.
Yeah, I think he only played for Barca for it was less than 6 months in the end before he was.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly sure he was basically forced to retire, and it was to do with his heart. I sort of remember the press conference when he announced it, and he got really emotional about it, which he would do. A player of Aguero's quality coming to what you'd say was the twilight years of his career, because he could still do a job at his age. I think he was only...
definitely, yeah.
What would he have been? I think he was only about 32, 33 when he retired. You've got a couple of more years out of him. and then it just gets taken away from him all like that.
Seems to be quite. I don't know. It's quite a frequent thing with footballers and sportsmen in general. It's just they always seem to crop up more and more these days with issues, like heart issues or things like that. Because there was Ericsson, obviously, with that World Cup. He had a heart attack, didn't he?
I think it was the Euros.
Euros,
2020.
There's loads. There's been loads. I mean, even in lower leagues, I think there was someone a couple of months ago, a young lad that actually died from heart attack. We were only like 24, 25.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yeah.
I
can't remember who
think of it.
Yeah.
I mean, 24, 25, and you lose your life on the pitch. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, like, that's 7-8 years younger than what I am now.
I know. And you got to think these people as well, like they're pretty much peak physical fitness, the moderate, whatever, drinking, they eat well, they exercise, and then something like that happens. And then you get people like us who drink and eat takeaways and are right fat bastards all the time, and we're here. It's just crazy.
Did you let your kids do your hair again, Geeky? That was...
Oh, that was funny, yeah.
See, I read that first part then, and I just assumed that she was ripping on you again. No,
Geeky is a very funny guy. He's always doing some kind of cosplay. We put her picture on Twitter. He does. He'd gone out. I don't know if he'll take his kids to school or to shops, but they'd put like, I think it was a pink headband in his hair or a bow or something. Basically, let his kids do his hair. No, it was funny. I did laugh at that one.
I feel like I need to see this picture now.
It's on Twitter somewhere. It is funny though. He's Geeky. Really, really funny guy.
So moving back to obviously the gaming side of things. I mean, naturally, almost everybody that comes on here, I end up sitting there waffling about Resident Evil in some way, shape, or form. And I am going to come back to Resident Evil, so don't anybody worry.
Look forward to it.
You've mentioned Final Fantasy as well, which I'm sure you know is one of my.
Yep.
See, I really can't decide if I prefer Resident Evil or Final Fantasy. As much as you never really see me stream Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I think I first started playing that in I want to say I was like 7, maybe 8 years old. And I actually started with Final Fantasy 8. I didn't play 7 for the longest time. Mainly because, obviously I've played it now, and the game is absolutely phenomenal. At the time, obviously people were telling me to play it, and they're telling me how good it were, and all this kind of stuff. And I just think I'd had too much of an expectation built up for me, and I'm thinking, it can't possibly be as good as what people are making out. I just had this feeling that I was going to be disappointed with it, and then wow, was I wrong?
Yeah.
What is it about Final Fantasy that sort of grabs you?
I just love that genre. I love the JRPG. I've always been one to play games where you can level up, you can change what weapons you've got, armor you wear, and things like that. Kind of an OCD thing where you want to get to ice level, get strongest weapon. But I remember my first one was Final Fantasy VII, actually given to me by my uncle, because he said, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with this. Do you want it? So I went, oh yeah. And I'd not actually heard of them until then. But that was like not long after it had come out initially. So I took it, played it, and I hooked on it, and I just played it time and time again. And then I got 8 bought for me for Christmas because I asked for it, and I got it year it came out, and I've had every one since, pretty much. Got the Pixel remasters, played all those, waiting on 16, 7 Part 2, just all of them. Love them. Favourite franchise, I think I would say Resident Evil and Final Fantasy is completely different games, but Final Fantasy, I would say, is my favourite franchise of games, followed by Resident Evil, close. I just, I love the Final Fantasies.
Well, yeah, and you are quite right. Totally different games. You play them for totally different reasons. You've got Resident Evil in your left hand. You've got Final Fantasy in your right hand. Bring them both together and create a baby out of it. Parasite Eve.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That is, I was just thinking when you said that, I was thinking, yeah, that's like, a bit like Parasite Eve. That is a great game. I like the combat system on that.
Yeah,
I think that's really good.
the thing is, how long ago was it now? I want to say possibly about a year ago. I did a full playthrough of Parasite Eve on stream. And then I tried playing number 2, and for some reason, and I still to this day don't know what it is, I just couldn't quite get into number 2 the same way as what I did with number 1. And I'm really not sure why.
No, well, it's been a long time since I've played Parasite. I'll say that I played a little bit of it not long back, but I did maybe half an hour. But I've completed it in the past, but a long time ago, so I can't really remember much of what happens. But that opening scene where they're in Opera House and just everyone starts bursting into flames. I remember first playing that, I was like, jeez, fucking hell, what's going on here? This is mad. Yeah. Oh, crazy. But yeah, it's a great game, is that? Really good.
Yeah, and like you say, that opening cutscene, you're seeing some chick seemingly going on a date in an opera house, and then people just start bursting into flames. And I remember watching that, and I'm sitting here thinking, what's going on? Like, am I seeing this right?
Yeah, you're running around down backstage and there's all burnt bodies and stuff. Oh, Jesus, this is it's a bit graphic. So I'm thinking as a young kid, I don't want to look at that.
Little bit grim, this. Not gonna lie, kind of put me off going to the opera.
Oh, not me. I love a good whatever opera. Love a good orchestra.
Not saying that he's making that up, guys, but when you're trying to claim that you love something and you don't know what it actually is, love a good opera.
That's the one. An operatic sequence.
So, obviously, it was you said earlier it was lockdown that got you into Twitch and got you into streaming.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something that you'd have ever actually come to if not for lockdown?
I think maybe eventually, yeah. But not as soon as I did. I think I might have done, but I think it was just the fact that there was nothing else to do, and actually most of the days were spent watching Twitch. It was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. It kind of brought everyone together. Yeah. But I do think eventually I would have done, just taken a little bit longer. I think it's like I used to play Warzone a lot with, obviously, wife plays it. We've got some friends who are in here. Angelis are an idiot goon. We all play Warzone. That kind of like, especially the first one with the Verdansk. It's like everyone says, this was what everyone played when lockdown happened. It brought everyone together, which is a bit like I think what happened with Twitch. There were so many people. So I remember we commented on it. How many people were actually on Twitch during lockdown?
Yeah.
I always said it'd fall off, and I've had people I've been following on here for a while who haven't streamed for a long time, because they've gone back to the lives, which it's to be expected. But yeah, so I think I would have done, but you're just taking a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so sure whether or not I would have done, because I learned about Twitch from my sister. It was my sister that introduced me to Twitch. And I used to go around to her house and she'd be watching somebody. She used to watch people playing 7 Days to Die, which kind of seems very similar to Minecraft, but with zombies.
Sorry, go on. I'm going to interrupt you then.
And it still makes me laugh to this day, because back then, this is like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd go around to her house and I'd be like, what are you doing watching people play a computer game? Like, just play the game. And now I can't, I can't bring myself away.
That's it. I watch Twitch now more than I watch TV. First thing, get in from work, do all what we need to do. I'll sit down, say, oh, someone's on, streamer I like, not necessarily you, but other ones, But you just come in, you switch it on. So like I said, oh, Liam's on. I've been watching your podcasts, all seriousness. I've been right enjoying them. But yeah, it's funny you should mention 7 Days to Die, actually, because I've just recently started playing that with mates and Case and my wife and what have you, and it's addictive, man. Ah, fucking hell, it's addictive. It's got zombies in, so I'm going out. You're looting, you're killing zombies. You come back, make your base, and we're just making bedrooms. Someone built a giant someone built a giant dick on top of his house, which is still there with a torch on, just to light the way. They're literally just messing about, but it's really, really addictive. Every night, yeah, every single night.
Yeah, I think I
Every night.
tried it. I tried it a while back. I can't remember who it was that wanted me to play. Um, I'm gonna say either it was either BML or Venusaur.
Yeah.
They were talking about 7 Days to Die, and I'd heard of it. Thought I'd give it a go. And mate, I absolutely sucked. Like I had no idea what I was doing. As soon as the zombies started coming at me, I'm panicking, which is mad when you think about it. When literally all I stream is a game based around zombies, but then a zombie starts running at me, and I'm like, shit, what am I doing? And I don't think I've actually played it since. Asking what he's doing tonight after the podcast.
Probably gone on 7 Days to Die. To be fair, I need to decorate my bedroom.
I have our server to new mode for these.
Yeah. No, but I started playing it just around when Resident Evil 4 Remake come out because they kept pestering me saying, "Oh, he's not on. He's on Res 4 Remake." I says, "Look, I've got my new game. I want to play this," and I went on it, and it's just addictive. And I still on Resident Evil 4 Remake and doing my professional playthrough, but Start 7 Days to Die is one of them when you just can't be asked doing much else. You don't want to really concentrate on something. You can just go on, kill some shit, and decorate an house. That's about it. It's easy gaming.
I think I will try it again someday. It's just trying to fit it in somewhere.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Obviously, like we said earlier, having the availability to do it. I mean, 4 Remake, it came out. What, was it a week ago now? 2 weeks ago?
24th was it? So what we want to do?
Yeah, I think it was a week on Friday. And I booked the day off work. So I'd sat there. I must have played it for a good 10 hours or so. Went and picked my little lad up. As soon as he went to bed, I played it again. But then because of my working hours this week, like I've literally only just finished my first playthrough.
Yeah.
I've got the modded version of Final Fantasy VIII that I'm only halfway through. I need to get back round to that at some point.
I saw you playing that actually. I'm gonna download that myself. I think that looked quite good.
Oh, it was brilliant. When I first started, I think I was going to the Ifrit fight, and I was just taking it like the game in its normal format, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's only Ifrit, set the time limit for 10 minutes, and he wiped me out in about 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay, this is different.
Yeah, it does look really good.
Oh, it's brilliant. So I think I've gotten to the second Edia fight. I can't beat her. I don't know what it is. I'm trying different strategies. I'm trying different loadouts, and I'm just like, I can't figure out how to beat her. It's fucking solid.
That's sometimes what you want, though, isn't it? You sometimes like a challenge from a game, but it can get tedious if you keep dying over and over again.
Well, I think what frustrated me, but I also like about it, there's no junctioning. You can't junction magic to your stats anymore.
Yeah, I remember you saying actually.
So it stops you making yourself really overpowered, which is what I used to do with Final Fantasy VIII. I'd get out on the open world. I'd go to the beach, fight a load of fish so I could junction a load of water to my strength, play a fuck ton of cards, and I'd just breeze through the game. So then obviously, Lewis, can you see him? He tells me about this crystal mod. He says, yeah, you can't junction and stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, go on, let's give that a go. I'm not going to lie, I've maybe bitten off a little bit more than what I could chew with it. Because I did expect, I honestly thought I'd finish it within about a week. And yeah, I'm at.
I think it levels it. I think it levels it off a bit though, that doesn't it really? Because I don't think when they made the game they were expecting people to twig on that if you just junction a lot of magic to your power, you can just fire through game and destroy everything.
Yeah. You see, this is what used to make me laugh with Final Fantasy VIII. It gets a lot of bad press on the fact that you can, overpower yourself really early. And I saw a lot of people slating it for that exact reason. Like, oh, Final Fantasy VIII, no, it's shit, you can just make yourself really powerful right at the start. And I'm like, well, if that's an issue for you, just don't fucking
Don't
do
do
it.
it.
Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
It's not difficult, is it? Like, oh,
No.
I don't like the fact that you can do this on that game. Well, alright, don't fucking do it then.
Exactly.
Job
Yeah.
done.
No one's forcing you to do it, are they? Fucking hell.
Now, Resident Evil 4 remake. Where are we
Yeah.
ranking that in terms of the remakes that they've brought out so far?
Best one.
Yeah,
Best one for me.
I've got to agree. I'm going to be totally honest. When it was first announced, I weren't asked. Like, I wasn't bothered. 4 wasn't one that I've invested too much time into as it is. And I'm not going to lie, I did kind of spit my dummy out at the fact that they were going with 4 and not Code Veronica.
Yep.
Capcom, sort your shit out. We need a Code Veronica remake. And then the trailer for it came out.
Yeah.
And mate, the trailer just got me straight away.
Yeah.
I think it's more the fact that they've kind of brought back that horror feel to it.
Yeah. I mean, I exactly the same as you. I wasn't. When they first announced it, I were a bit confused as to why they'd go with that. Because for me, the original still stands up.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've done 2 and 3. They did 1, which were perfect. But I just didn't think 4 was needed at the time. I thought the next logical step would be Veronica, which I still want, and I still think they will do.
Yeah.
But same as you, when you saw trailer, played demo, I thought, okay, now it's going to be good, this. And I literally played through it. I went straight on hardcore mode, just played through it, and it's just everything's great about it. They've cut little insignificant bits like your cable car ride, but it's bits that you're not going to miss. It's not like Clock Tower in 3 where it's an entire section.
Yeah.
And they've fleshed out parts that weren't fleshing out. Like Lewis's character, Ashley's a lot better. It's just great. It's 10 out of 10. I think it's the best one they've done.
Yeah.
But you can tell they've put a lot of care into it. Whereas with 3, I think that was a rush job.
Oh, 100%.
Whereas with 2, they spent a lot of time with it. And 3, were like, right, 2's been a success. Let's get that out. Let's keep Money Train going.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit of, oh shit, I think we fucked up a bit there. So with 4, they really put their effort in. And it's great. I love it. It's brilliant.
I think obviously the developers would have known though that like they had to knock it out of the park with this one because if they'd got this one wrong, after the reactions that they got from 3 remake, which again, you know, I think 3 remake gets a lot more shit thrown at it than what it deserves. I understand what people are saying, you know, about cut content. Like you say, you know, the fact that they've just completely took the clock tower out. You know, I understand why people are upset with that. But as a game in its own right, I think it's great.
Well, that's what I've said though. I mean, I won't say I was disappointed with it. I enjoyed the game, you know, but I think as same as a lot of people were looking at it as a Resident Evil game because it was Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
Whereas if that game just came out and it wasn't Resident Evil, completely new game, you'd think that's fucking great. Is this? Because you'd think it's a great game because you've got nothing to compare it against.
Yeah.
Whereas we're comparing it to Nemesis, you know, you're always going to be looking for faults in it.
Yeah, and I sort of think that's one of the issues. I don't think people did it too much with 2, just purely out of excitement.
Yeah.
Well, when was it that came out now? Was that 2019, I want to say?
Might have been, yeah. What's that, 4 years ago? Or is it 2018? I don't know.
Oh, I'd have to check. If someone wants to have a quick look. But I know with 2 remake, it had been heavily rumoured. I want to say for a good few years before it eventually came out. And obviously we were all really excited to play. I know I was anyway. I was like a fucking kid at Christmas. I can't remember if I bought it on release day or like a day or 2 after. In fact, I want to say it was a day or 2 after because I had to wait for payday to go and get it.
2019, yeah.
I'd woke up that morning. I almost ran into town, like from my flat, almost sprinted into town to go and buy it, and I loved it.
Coppers chasing you.
That's another story for another time. Though. I don't really want to be talking about that because I could get banned. But then again, I live in Manchester, so you know it's completely normal.
Yes, it is.
Standard
Just another
procedure.
occurrence, isn't it? It's another day.
Exactly that, yeah, exactly that. You're actually more worried when the coppers aren't booting your door off. And then obviously they announced that they were doing 3. I did get 3 on release day because I got the digital copy with that.
Yeah.
Whereas 2, I actually went and bought the physical one. And I don't think 3 took me all that long to finish.
No, it is
about,
a short game.
Yeah, I want to say about 8 hours, give or take,
Yeah.
my first playthrough.
Hmm.
And like I said, I really enjoyed it. I understand what people are saying about cutting content out and whatnot, and I do agree with it. It is good. It just feels, for me, it feels like a missed opportunity. Like if they would have, I think if they'd have done what they could have done with Resident Evil 3, I genuinely believe that you'd have been looking at a potential Game of the Year candidate right there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it'd have been better than 2 if they'd have given it proper treatment and not rushed it. I think it'd have been better than 2.
yeah,
But like I say, it's like they teased you at Clock Tower. You saw it on Railway thing when you're switching alt tracks, and it's like, oh, we're going to be going there because it is a lot of people's favourite part of the game, is that the Clock Tower. But there's a lot of things like with Nemi. They changed some of his forms. I know a lot of people weren't happy with the dog version, the dog Nemi.
yeah.
I mean, for me, I wasn't too fussed about it, but yeah, it just seemed a rush job. Like, I remember saying to my mate, actually, when they announced it, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's quick. Because it wasn't long after 2 came out, they announced 3, and I thought, "Oh, that's a bit fast." So I must have been working it side by side. But you could tell, like, where she's in the lab area at the end, you could tell they've just rehashed the nest out of Resident Evil 2. They've used the same skin, the same whatever, and just put, let's put a different look to it. Because they already had RPD, so they just need to board up some doors. A lot of it they already had rendered and done. So it's like, let's use these, slap on a bit of a different look, and go with it.
I think the one big disappointment for me with that, which is kind of ironic because it's one of the most frustrating parts of the original for me, is the acid Nemi fight. Like, that could have been phenomenal in a remake.
Yeah.
But then obviously they've mutated into Dog Nemi like far too early. I thought.
Well, they got rid of the acid Nemi. Where those things where you shot those electric panels, wasn't it? They changed it to that. Yeah, but it just seemed like I said though, if you took the name Resident Evil off the game, I think a lot of people would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, 100%.
But they really, they did redeem themselves with 4. Like I said, I think it's the best remake they've done. It's great. Just everything about it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it. I don't want to say out spoiler wise, but you can definitely see a Resident Evil 5 remake coming after this one.
Well, I've literally just finished my first playthrough. I finished my first one earlier today, and again, I'm not gonna give any spoilers away because I'm a bit mindful. You know, there's going to be people that haven't quite finished it as yet. But the first thing I said after the ending cutscene was that it really feels like they've teed this up for the sequel.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
But I think that's. I was thinking the other day. I think the plan's been obviously when they redid the first one. That are obviously separate to what they're doing now. You know, they've done 2, 3, 4. I think the plan were always to go to 5.
Yeah.
And then stop there and focus on new games. I don't think they'll do 6. I just think that'd be too much of a minefield to sort out with the gameplay wise and the mechanics of it, unless they completely revamped it and redid it from ground up. So I think they'll go to 5, and I do think we'll get Code Veronica. I think we'll get Code Veronica next, and then they'll finish with 5. That's how I feel that'll go.
I hope so. I do agree that I don't think they'll. I do agree with you there that I don't think they'll bother remaking 6.
Yeah.
And my reason for that is just simply I don't feel that there's a demand for it. Obviously, 6 isn't the most popular within the series. In fact, if you asked a lot of people that play the Resident Evil games, I'd say a good portion of them are going to say that 6 is up there with probably the worst one.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, I think it's one of those that has a game in its own right. Not too bad.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you can co-op it.
Yeah. I mean, it's very action oriented. Um, Obviously you've got your that's like your buddy system in it that you've got in it. It was
Yeah,
just such a obviously in 5 they slowly worked toward it. Obviously 4 you had Ashley who followed you around, helped you out. 5 you had Sheva who you could co-op and do that, and then 6 they went all out, 3 scenarios, this entire buddy system, buddy doing all this and that. I just think they went a bit too far with it, and it just some campaigns I enjoyed Leon and Chris's campaign. Sherry's not so much, but I just think it were a mess, that one.
yeah. I think with 6, I've said this for a while now. I think they tried to do too much with it. Um,
Yeah.
if they'd have just sort of taken a step back and been a bit more simple about it, it could have been better than what it actually was. I mean, like I said, I do still enjoy co-oping it. I'm going to be honest and say I can't play it solo. I can't play it
No.
on my own. I don't enjoy it. Leon's campaign I thought was good. Chris's, it was all right. Not awful, but
No.
at points it felt more like a Call of Duty than a Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
Ada's is good as well. I can't remember if I ever actually finished Ada's, but I know they changed it because originally Ada's campaign was a single player. You only played through with Ada.
Mm.
And now obviously that's not the case. You've got
I
is it Hunk?
think so, yeah. See that there we're talking about as well. That's another game I think could do with a remake. Dino Crisis, what Daily Game Bites put in. I'd love to see Dino Crisis remake. I loved that game, especially the second one. Thought that was brilliant.
So
But
I can't remember much about the second one. I mean,
the second was a lot more action.
Hmm.
You had it was like a run gun type thing. You had your scores tallying up when you were shooting. But I remember the teasers. What were they? Were a couple of maybe a year or two ago with this. Is it Exo Primal?
Oh, yeah.
They had a red-headed female lead in like a leather suit or something, and I thought, oh, that's Regina. That's Dino Crisis remake, and then it was this fucking sci-fi dinosaur shit where they're all flying through the sky. Oh, fucking hell, that's just been catfished, been trolled big time there.
Like, yeah, do you want the Dino Crisis remake? You want a Dino Crisis? Ah, yeah, we'll fucking get in it.
Have this fucking shit instead. Take it. I shouldn't say that because it's coming out free on Game Pass soon, so I'll probably give it a see what it's about.
Oh, well, if it works out free.
Yeah.
Well, I do think Dino Crisis will be one that will, somewhere down the line, will get a remake. Because there's the demand for it. There's enough people that want to see it. I'd go as far as to say they'd probably be stupid not to be fair. Because that's one that could bring them in a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I read something the other day that I think obviously RE4 came out Friday, and I think by Sunday it had already sold like 3 million copies worldwide.
Yeah,
that's
I saw
crazy.
That's fastest it's reached that mark out of all the remakes, everything. I think 2 or 3 days. That's quickest they've sold that many units.
I reckon it'll probably end up surpassing 5 for most overall sold units, I think.
Yeah, definitely will. Yeah, I think going back to saying like with Dino Crisis, it'd be a big money spinner because there's demand for it. I think with Resident Evil, Code Veronica, as of last couple of years, has had the most demand. I saw the overseas people asking for it.
Yeah.
Oh, when's CVX remake? CVX. No one asked for 4, but we got it. It's turned out to be the best one. So I think next one, I think they will do Code Veronica. I think that'll be the next one to do. And then they'll finish with 5 and then... But I do think we'll get 9 in between those as well, because they're rumouring about 9 out there. There's that much going on and that much to keep track of sometimes.
Yeah, and I was talking about this a while back. I think in terms of the storyline, I think they're going to take it to 10, and then I've got a feeling after 10 they'll leave it alone. Then,
yeah, that's something different.
It's just what do they do? Who do they base the game around? Are they going to go in the direction of that's what she called now? Ethan's daughter. Rose, that's it, Rose.
Yeah.
Are they going to focus it with her? Are they going to go with Chris? Are they going to do a complete swerve and bring one of the other mainline characters back into it?
Well, I think with Ethan, I think that Winter's storyline didn't it not say that was done after Village?
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure there were a little
initially,
message that said it were done.
yeah, I think the initial idea was that it was going to be a trilogy. You were going to have
All
seven,
right,
eight,
yeah,
and nine. But then obviously they brought out the Rose DLC for Village instead.
yeah.
And I think that's what they're now using to complete the trilogy.
All right.
Um, have you played through Shadow of Rose?
I haven't played it once, to be honest. I've not. I've played Village, done that. I've never played Shadows of Rose. I do intend to, but I just haven't got around to it.
Oh, I'd
But I hear it's
highly
good.
recommend it.
Yeah, I do hear
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah.
See, like what you said about oh, I thought sound went then. The sound gone.
No, no. Oh,
No,
not
no, I
not that
thought
I
it went
know
there.
anyway.
No, no, we're still here. We're still here. I was saying, I think what you said about bringing another main line, it's character I'd like to see Rebecca.
Yeah,
During Zero, I'd like to see her with it in this new engine. You know, a new story, an up to date story, not going back or somewhere based in between. Maybe sure because there's the books that are out as well. Obviously, like stuff like Caliban Cove and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It'd be good to see stories like that because it'd introduce new characters into it as well, different members of stars who you've not seen, not heard of, who are in these like unofficial books.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be good to see something like that, maybe bringing people like Rebecca back or bits like that.
Yeah.
Even please, Kevin, bring Kevin back.
I would like to see that. I've got a feeling that they're going to play it safe. And if they do bring somebody back, it's going to be Jill.
Yeah,
Mainly because obviously she's featured in how many titles now? You've got 1, 3, 5. Was she in Revelation? Yeah, she was in Revelations.
Revelations.
And I think it's the easiest explainable one as well, because
Yeah.
according to the law, Jill and Chris are married, so it'd make a lot of sense to bring Jill into it.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
suppose time will tell.
Yeah, there's a new is it a show or a film, animated film they're bringing out? Is it Death something? Death Island or something like that?
Yeah, it's something along those lines.
Yeah, but Jill's in it, isn't there? And they're actually, I think
Yeah.
they're explaining away because they're keeping her younger than, let's say, Chris, and I think they've explained that away as when she was infected or whatever, it's messed with the genes and caused it to age slower or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard
Spoilers,
something about
spoilers,
that.
but I would say spoilers, but it's all out there. It's been documented.
I'm going to be honest and say I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to that or not because I remember the animated Resident Evil series that they brought out on Netflix.
Yeah,
Can't even remember what it was called now.
What Degeneration? What it with the other one? Or was it Degeneration?
No, Degeneration
yeah,
was one of the films.
I've got it there. Degeneration. There. It was. I can't remember the name of it. It's too amazing. But yeah, but it was Leon. It had Leon and Claire.
Yeah, because I remember it came out in the summer of whatever year it was, and I'd intentionally not watched it because me and my partner at the time had said we'll wait and we'll watch it together.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that she didn't enjoy it, but she fell asleep halfway through the first episode. We then watched it back the following day. Because I think there were only like 4 episodes, weren't there? It weren't a long series.
Yeah, it wasn't a long one. What I don't understand with these things, right? It's like, how hard is it to make a decent either Resident Evil series or film? The material's there. People know what they want. You know what I mean? It's like, Welcome to Raccoon City. I were expecting. I enjoyed it. It was very rushed, and I didn't like how they squeezed everything into that one film. I thought they should have gone. If you can get a trilogy straight away, you can do 1, 2, and 3 and base it off games.
Yeah.
Do it word for word. I mean, if you look at The Last of Us, I loved that. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that were a great TV show. I thought it was best game adaptation that they've done of a video game.
I believe so,
you could. It's like you could when they're talking on TV show. It's like she says that in game. She looks exactly like that. She does this, does that. She dresses like that. You know, they did this. They went there. It doesn't spoil it for you knowing what's going to happen because it's that kind of like nostalgia thing. Saying, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
Yeah.
But then Resident Evil just seem to have this thing where I think they try and put their own spin on it, what they think people want to see, and it's just not what majority want to see.
No, not at
You
all.
want you want a film set in a mansion, Jill, Barry, Chris, Wesker, Rebecca, whatever. You want guardhouse, you want labs, you want underground. Follow storyline because it's a brilliant game, and people love the game. They love the story for a reason, and you do a film or whatever, and they'll love that. It just frustrates me, and it's so annoying.
Welcome to Raccoon City. I can't help but feel a bit let down with, because I remember when the trailer dropped, and I was like a kid at Christmas. You know, I watched the trailer and I thought this is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And I feel like with the trailer, which don't get me wrong, I know is the whole point, but I feel what they've done with the trailer is take just the only good bits out of it, throw it all together, and be like, "This is what you're gonna get." Not a bad film in its own right. But I completely agree with you there that, you know, they try and put their own sort of spin on it, and it never works.
And it's just like they had the locations, they had the mansion, the RPD, a bit of the underground, but it was just all mashed together too much, I think. I thought the casting were good though. I enjoyed who they picked for characters.
I did.
But I just think they did them a bit of an injustice with writing.
Yeah. And I remember when it first came out, there was a lot of grief being thrown to the actors. And it's like, well, all right, I understand everybody being disappointed with it, because again, I don't feel that it's a case of it's not good. It's just not as good as what it could have been if they'd have done it right.
Yeah.
But that's not on the actors. You know, at the end of the day, they're given a script, they're given a story.
Yeah.
I do believe the actors played their roles well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
The casting choice for Claire, a lot of people disagree with this, but I think it makes a hell of a lot of sense, because if I was to picture Claire Redfield as an actual person, I can't think of a name. I know it's the chick that was in Skins.
Kaya Scodelario, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing her in Skins, and when they announced her as the cast, I'm like, I can really picture that. Like, I can really picture her as Claire Redfield.
The thing is, with Claire in Resident Evil 2, I don't even think she's over 20-year-old. She's like 18, 19.
Yeah, she's only young.
Actress that played Claire, I know she's maybe mid-20s, but she looks younger than she is.
Yeah.
So I think it was good casting that, and I thought the Chris casting was spot on with Robbie Amell.
Yeah.
I thought that was spot on casting that. But like you had everyone, you know, moaning about Jill casting and Leon casting. I thought they did a good job with what they were given.
Yeah.
So it don't matter, you know, they did a great job. I just think they did Leon dirty with his script. They made him a bit to be like a foolish idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of a rookie cop, obviously they made him look a bit daft instead of giving him his dues, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think the way I phrased it, because again, that was one that I watched with T'other Half at the time. Christmas Day as well, of all days.
That's one way to ruin your Christmas, isn't it? Watching that.
That's exactly what I said after we'd finished watching it. I was like, yeah, that's just completely ruined Christmas for me. We then decided that I wasn't allowed to pick a film again, because it was my idea to watch it, and she's like, yeah, you're never picking the film that we watch again. Like, that was terrible.
Bloody hell.
But
yeah, it was a letdown.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier, though, when you said it just felt very much thrown together. Like you say, like they tried cramming too much into it.
Yeah. They could have genuinely got at least 2 films out of it if they'd have fleshed out the first game. Even added bits of RPD in before they went to Mansion, after they came back after it, you know, trying to convince them what had happened.
Yeah.
And then your second one, just have it over at second and possibly at third game. It could have been done, but it was just all crammed together.
Well, 100%.
But I think still to this day, my favourite Resident Evil film is the very first with Mila Jovovich. I just think that's a really good, solid film. Yeah. It's not perfect by any means, but I think out of all of them, I think that's the best one. When I remember watching it, actually, I think I went to pictures. I was like, "Oh, this is great, love it."
I think the first time I watched the first Resident Evil film, because I want to say it was, is it more than 20 years ago now that it came out?
I think it was 2002. Yes, it's about 21 years. So
I
around
want
about
to
that time.
say I watched it on my dad's PC.
Yeah.
Because my dad was into like downloading films and whatnot at the time.
Mm.
And I'm sure what he'd done was he borrowed a projector from work, hooked it up to his PC, and like put it up against the wall so that we could all sit and watch it. And yeah, I really enjoyed the film.
2002, yeah.
The second one I thought was still quite good. The casting for Jill in that I thought was brilliant. I'm like, she looks exactly.
Oh God, yeah.
Exactly how she looked in the game. Like even to what she was wearing, it was all done to a T.
What was her name now? Is it Sienna? Something Sienna? Sienna Gilroy, who played Jill. Yeah, that was spot on. But that film though, they all looked like how they were dressed. You know, Jill. You had who else were there as well? Were it just Jill in that actually?
I want to say Barry's in it as well.
I don't know. I know Barry's in one of the later ones, and where they have Ada and they have Leon and Barry. I remember that. Right. I think it was maybe fourth film. I think that might be one of the last ones.
Yeah, and I think the problem with that film series is I just think it got a little bit too daft in the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Started off solid, but the films where they started bringing in like the executioners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy them because I did. I'm just a little bit like, right, there's far too much going on now. This is getting a bit fucking silly.
Yeah, there was that one in the prison, wasn't there? Where I think that's where they had the guy with the big axe or the big sledgehammer that had Chris and Claire in it, and there were Carlos as well, weren't there? I saw that. Oh, he's smoking a spliff at end after he'd been bitten. Or one way to end his story, I think.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's a bit of a change.
I think the one thing that I did really dislike was the casting choice for Chris Redfield, Wentworth Miller.
Yeah,
I like Wentworth. Loved him in Prison Break. I thought he was brilliant in Prison Break. He's just not Chris Redfield. Like there's nothing about him that says Chris Redfield.
No, but I think the casting for Wesker, I think that was spot on. I think the look of him, I think that were how you know Wesker looks. I think the look of him were brilliant.
Right, there is because I've got an eye on the time, and it's WrestleMania tonight, so I'm going to be absolutely dead on my feet. Oh mate, I watched last night and I was like a kid at Christmas. It was fucking phenomenal. One thing that I do want to ask, if you had to pinpoint one specific moment or one specific stream since you started that you'd look back on and say, that's my proudest moment on the platform, what would you pick and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have to go back at that, trying to think what I've streamed. I don't know. I mean, I've streamed a lot of different stuff, obviously, and I've streamed a lot of Resident Evil. I've streamed Final Fantasies. Streamed a lot. So I think my headset's died. Just bear with me. Plug it in. Right, I think I'm back. Yeah, I don't know. I think I always liked when I streamed indie horror games. So I went through a stage where I streamed all that. I used to do a lot of indie horrors, and a lot of people seem to come in and enjoy that. You know, you can get the devs come in and watch who's made it, but I really enjoy doing them. Called what was it now? The Survey, I think it was. Like you're in a house, you know, it's your typical corridor simulator type thing.
Yeah.
The more you activate stuff, the further the game progresses. But I think someone come in and I think they said something like, "Oh, this is my game. I worked on this. It's really great to see someone streaming it."
Oh,
And I thought, that's right nice. Is that seeing someone
yeah.
who's actually been involved with the game and helped in certain aspects of it come in and appreciate that you're playing it. That's always having your work recognised. So I thought, yeah, it's nice going. I think
I can
probably one
imagine.
of those indie games I've played, to be fair. But there's been lots. There's been quite a few. It's hard to really pinpoint that one, but that one does stand out. You get someone coming in and saying, yes, thank you for playing this. It means a lot type thing.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
imagine that would have been a really nice moment.
mm.
And the last thing that I want to ask you, and there's a very specific reason for this one.
Oh, God.
You mentioned earlier on speedrunning.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ever going to see Longthorn return to speedrunning?
Yes, you will. I do have plans to come back to it. With which game, I am unsure yet, but it will be a Resident Evil. I've done in the past what I've done. I've done 2 remake and the OG one, and I've done 2 OG2 as well. But I have been keeping an eye on these Resident Evil 4 speedruns that have been taking place over the last few days. Because I've started a professional playthrough and I've been trying to, just edge my way through that as quick as I can. Because you can keep an eye on your times on chapters. So I'm thinking I may at some point possibly come back with that Resident Evil 4 remake. If not, definitely one of the OGs. So I do want to improve my time on the first 2. But yes, I will be coming back to it at some point. I have many, many plans when time allows.
I'm really glad that that's where you've gone.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I specifically wanted to ask you that, Liam McKnighty versus Longthorne90. It's got to be done. Written in the stars.
Oh, bloody hell. I am down for that, mate. I'm down. I will be up for that one.
Well, listen, I do want to say a really big thank you for agreeing to come on.
No problem. Thank you for asking.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that we've not insulted each other as much. I expected a bit more.
Oh, we're nice. We're nice, really, aren't we? Dickhead.
Well, yeah, I suppose you're all right for a thick Yorkshire dick.
There we go.
Right. Listen, thank you for, like I said, thanks for coming on. Guys, the social links for Longthorn, I've just dropped in the chat there. If you're not following him, then make sure to go and drop him a follow on both Twitter and on Twitch. As you heard before, hopefully we're going to get to see him come back to speedrunning, and if that happens, then again, who knows, we could have a potential race on our hands somewhere down the line.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
All right, buddy. Right, well, I hope you enjoy your evening, and I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon.
You will. Thank you very much. See you later, guys.
Cheers, matey. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too, mate. Bye.